Morning everybody, Beck here. Today we're going to go over some fishing tips in canals, specifically the canal here at Eloy, Casa Grande area. So stay tuned, let's have a look, and I'll show you kind of what I look for. So right off the bat, timing. Depending on what season we're in, so right now it's summer still. It's pretty hot. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start early. Early is your best bet. The earlier you start, I feel like you have a better chance. Later in the day, the fish bite definitely gets slower. So if you can get that 6 to 8 a.m. range, that's going to be your best bet in my opinion. If you can start at 5, start at 5. All right, now if we're going for catfish or carp, generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot next to some cover and stick with that. Now, if we're going for bass, we're going to look for other types of cover, but we're not going to be stationary. We're not going to pick one spot and stay there. We're going to move up and down the canal to see if we can locate the fish. So let's focus on the bass or striper fishing. So here is an example of an area that I'd kind of take a look at. You see we've got some bushes in the water. We've got a ladder, okay, those little bars, fish will freaking hang out by them. And then also, we've got this area where this concrete is busted up and the fish could potentially be hiding in there. I don't see nothing at the moment, but that's stuff that I would be looking for. Okay, my next step is I'm gonna drive alongside of the canal if possible. And I'm going to use polarized sunglasses, and we're going to have a look inside of the water to see if we can find any fish. So that way we're not sitting in one spot casting all day and not catching anything. Now the reason I do this is more often than not, your bass and your stripers are going to be close to the bank and easy to see. So if you drive like this, you'll be able to just see them and go from there. Prime example of why I look for things like this. I don't know if you could see him, but there was a bass right there. He wasn't very big, but he was hanging out in an area where this is cracked. Down there, the concrete's a little bit wonky, and they like to sit in those little crevices, those little areas that they can sit in. Okay, again, here's another area that I look for. These little diversion things with the pumps here. I look for these because there's cutouts and the fish love to hide in there. So guarantee there's a bass, there's something in there, guaranteed. Then also, we've got this bridge here that's gonna provide some shade. Fish tend to like some shade. You got some bushes kind of overhanging into the water there. Those are all some good signs to look for. I would soak bait here, or I would throw lures while looking for bass. We'll pan over real quick. Also, real quick, the pipe, that's also cover. So don't lose your bait on it. And we can't forget the honorary mention of everybody's favorite fishing spot in Arizona City. Gotta love it. Let's see who we can sneak up on. Nobody. Water's a little bit murky today, so that's another thing you gotta take into consideration. And again, you've got all this at your disposal. So spread out, throw Ned rig, throw fluke. You know what I mean? Check it out. It's a lot of water to be fished. Now this western half of the canal, I always have better luck on, so I don't really hit the eastern half. I go straight here, I head that way. So something I'd like some more investigation on is, are there fish in these smaller canals? Now, I don't know. I see gambusia, mosquito fish in here. There's a ton of them. But there's got to be something that can eat those somewhere. It's not the most refreshing looking water in the world, but I would like to know if there's anything in here. If you guys have ever caught something in there, let me know. All right, we're gonna cap it there so we don't end up with a 10-minute video, but you guys get the gist. Have a look, drive down the canal, look in the water, see what you can find, get some polarized glasses. That's gonna be freaking night and day difference for a lot of stuff. Yeah, check them out. You know, watch a bunch of videos, take a little bit of info from everybody. There's a million ways to do it. I'm sure I left out 1,000 things you could look for. So yeah, that's just kind of a few tips and tricks from your boy Beck. Hopefully they do you some good. Have a good one. Take care.